as if love doesn't exist. Episode 27. So, is that all you wanted to say me?
No, there's one more thing. Stop dreaming. I'm saying, don't think you're on the same level as Yunsu just 'cause you work here. You're out of his league. Oh, Guihyun. It's hot out here. You should have waited inside, I was just on my way in.
I was feeling claustrophobic in there.
Yeah, you're right. The size of our offices are nothing compared to your company.
I'll show you once I graduate and officially join the company.
We should get working.
Does that girl work here?
You know how I told you about all the weekend part-timers? She's one of them.
Is that her? The one who hasn't given up on her dream despite being poor and having lost her parents?
Yeah. You remember all that? You don't have to remember that kind of thing.
How much do you earn here?
So he wasn't going to ignore me? I didn't know what he was doing by talking to me. 10,001 by the hour. 60,001 a day. About $7 and 84 cents and $47 and 2 cents, respectively.
So, 120,001 every 2 days. That's a little tight for living expenses. Isn't the work hard? About $94 and 8 cents.
But I knew that ultimately, he had ulterior motives. No.
That's good.
In any case, this situation is unbearable right now. It's time to work. I'll be going then.
Oh, already? I'll be off too then. Feel free to look around with Yunhai.
Everyone went off to work. Guihyun, where should we go now?
Home.
Already? I want to hang out with you longer. I get bored at home.
If you get so bored, then it might not be a bad idea to do some part-time work like that girl. You two are the same age, and she works.
Guihyun. I'm not on the same level as her just because we're the same age.
Well, I guess not.
And it might be nosy of me to talk about someone else's private life, but she has other motives for working here.
Other motives?
You see Daesung Inc. over there? Yunsu is the son of the CEO there.
Why is the son of Daesung working for Young Jin?
He has a quirky personality. But anyway, Siyeon is really interested in him. She knows Yunsu is rich. So she asks him for a ride when she goes home. I get that she's poor, but to throw away her dignity so obviously over money. It's unimaginable. She really offended me one time. And when I asked for an apology, she asked me for money. I had no choice but to give it to her, and she just took it straight away and put it in her pocket. I was a bit upset at first because it felt like I was being robbed. But it became fine after I considered it as charity. After all, people like us should help out people like her. Right, Guihyun?
Yeah. That was nice of you.
The grandmother next door tells me you and I are a match made in heaven. I think she really was right. My father works at your company, and that grandmother knows your family well. She's so nice to me that it makes me wish she was my real grandmother sometimes.
Her son and daughter are nice people too.
Yeah, but I pity them. They lost their daughter when they were younger. I heard that she was the same age as me. So the mother cries whenever she sees me. She says I remind her of her daughter. Her husband is a professor and they're well off. But I still feel bad for them.
I see. Should we get going then?
Yeah, thanks.
I heard CEO Choi takes good care of his staff and part-time workers.
That's right. Did Yunsu tell you? That's why the factory workers all like my father. But I don't like that. No one respects him. And the same goes for me, calling me by name like I'm their friend. Only the staff at Yongjin would treat their CEO like that.
It's a good trait for a boss to keep good relations with his staff.
But that's all because my family wasn't always rich.
What does that mean?
My great-grandfather used to be very poor. He worked at a small factory during the day and attended night school. I heard he was good with his hands and was also a very good writer. But he passed away through unfortunate circumstances, and my grandfather had a hard time growing up. So my father has sympathy for the factory people. When he sees them, it reminds him of his father and grandfather.
Was it your father that made Yongjin what it is today?
No, my grandfather did. He wanted to treat factory workers well, so he established this place. And after my father graduated college, he continued to work for his father.
Are you interested in the business at all?
I don't like working at a factory, and when the factory's short-handed. I don't like seeing my father working together with the factory people either.
What do you think about reading books or writing in your spare time?
I neither like nor dislike books. And my only experience with writing is with book reports from high school.
Have you ever heard of the poem called Midnight Sun? It's a famous poem by the great Donghan Kim of the Midnight Sun legacy.
I know it. It's a celebrated poem written during the occupation of Korea by Imperial Japan. Something about waiting for the midnight sun or whatnot.
So you do know.
Very well. Because my father.
What about your father?
It's nothing. I was about to say that I've seen it many times in the anthology my father bought me for my college entrance exams.
Oh, was that it? It'll be easier to remember since it's related to Midnight Sun Foods Inc.'s mission.
Is it that important for me to have to remember it?
There will come a time when you'll have to face it closely. Once you really become a part of the Midnight Sun family.
I published the first episode of my first novel to a famous web novel website yesterday. To exaggerate just a little, I visited the site more than 100 times today. I read it so many times while walking home that I memorized every nickname and comment. Up Dragon's Wings. Fantasy free series, all free stories published, catalog episode 1. A reaction like this for the first episode isn't too bad. I'll upload the second episode right away and keep writing. The title of the second episode will be Dragon's Heart, and the party that accompanies the main character is. The moment I saw the name on my phone screen, it felt like there was a hot lump stuck in my throat. Hello?
You're beginning to slack off cause my discharge is just around the corner, Siyeon. You used to pick up right away. Now you're getting slow.
Just be calm. As if nothing happened.
Spare some time for your boyfriend, will you? If you knew just how bored this soldier about to get out was, you'd want to spend some time with him.
So that's why I heard you've been reading a lot of books.
Yeah, I'm reading all sorts of genres.
Keep yourself busy after you get out too. Don't waste away your time just because you have time to spare until the new semester next year.
I'm gonna get myself a house and a driver's license as soon as I get out. That way I'll be able to be your chauffeur.
I get around fine without you. I'm busy every day, you know.
Did you have a bad day today?
No, I didn't. Oh, right. When was your last break going to be again?
This would be the third time I'm telling you. You should try to remember. I'll text you so you don't forget.
It's just that I forget because I'm so busy. I'll keep my schedule free that day. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, have a good night.
I tried to keep it casual throughout the call, but my fingertips began to shake as soon as I hung up. I had been set on breaking up with him once he got discharged. But as that day grew closer, I started to get dizzy for no reason, and my heart was constantly pounding inside of me.
If it's okay with you, care to follow me? Siyeon Kim.
Would I be able to live a normal life after sending Ijun away? I had tried to convince myself that it was okay since we hadn't shared any deep emotions. And that it would only be a light breakup following a brief relationship. But it was no use. Because I had already given too much of my heart to Ijun. I knew that there would be an end to this relationship from the start. But just the thought of a life without Ijun devastated me. 2 months later. With school life, writing novels, and my part-time job, it became fall before I even realized. When Ijun came out for his last break, I asked him to break up with me. Let's break up. He just stood there listening to what I had to say. He asked to talk about it again after his discharge, then walked away.
Hey, Siyeon.
That voice. I couldn't stop the track of time. Ijun. And it became my last day with Ijun.